What up? We have Coach Matt Lynch in the building, DEI Alliance Spotlight. So excited to be back. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, excited for it, man. So we're gonna kind of change this one up a little bit. We're in December, basketball season, Christmas is coming. Just give you a quick lightning round of a few random questions.
All right.
So Thanksgiving or Christmas, which one you picking and why? And
Uh,
favorite, if you had to say which one's your favorite.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Thanksgiving because I like to eat.
Okay, I like it. I
So,
like it. What about basketball season? Are you a college? Obviously, you're a college coach, but are you more of an NBA fan or a college fan of basketball?
definitely college. Definitely
Okay.
college.
What's your reason why?
Uh, I think you get more of the relationships. It's still a business, but you can still have that relationship piece to it where, NBA, you can be traded mid-game, find out
Okay.
via Twitter, which I don't, I get it, but
Yeah,
I like getting to know my players long past they're done playing for me.
absolutely. Good stuff. Are you a LeBron? I'm gonna throw in Kobe,
Yep.
LeBron, Kobe, or Jordan fan as far as the greatest player that we've seen.
I would go Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. Uh,
Ooh,
you
tell us about that. That's
yeah,
good. I like this. I
yeah.
like this.
Uh, you know, MJ, I think, just dominated the game in a direct time period that nobody else ever did.
Right.
Um, I grew up mostly on the East Coast, but even so, Kobe played at Lower Merion. I always knew who Kobe was. I'm from Pennsylvania,
Oh,
and
nice.
uh, I just think that LeBron he's dominated the game for sure, but people are just quick to want to throw in those two names for whatever reason when the Black Mamba was the real deal as well.
Right.
So
Right.
he's definitely second on my list. And but I've got nothing against greatness in LeBron either. I'm blessed to have been able to watch him, and
Right.
I hope he does it another 10 more years because I can't imagine the game without him.
Right. Now, what's your thoughts? Will he get one more, or is it done for him?
No, he'll get one more.
Think so. This
Yeah.
year, or are we going next year? What are you thinking?
I'm not ready to sign in on it this year,
Okay. Okay.
but before he's done, he'll
He's gonna sneak one more in.
yeah. I hope that he can be a primary role still, and hey, it's LeBron. He's always going to be a primary role,
Right.
but I think he's got one more, and uh, I even got visions of I grew up a Cavs fan, and so
Okay.
I could see him coming back home, for one more glory run too. So we'll see
One
what
more
it
run.
looks
I
like.
like it. I like it. What about? Let's see. What else I got? What about music wise? What's your? If you had to say top, your starting five,
Yeah.
either musicians or albums, you can kind of go mix and match if you want.
Okay.
What's Matt Lynch's starting five there?
I can play in a lot of different leagues, so I'm tough. I'm tough to compete with. But my my 1-2 punch, which kind of changes day to day, is either J. Cole and Drake, or then Drake, then J. Cole. Those are my
Great
top
1-2
two
punch.
favorites.
Great 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Outside of that, I really like Mac Miller. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, and probably one that you wouldn't think that would come out my mouth would be Lionel Richie. I love Lionel
Nice.
Richie, and
The
so
old soul. I like it.
yeah. And I mean, past that, I can do anything from, not really a country guy by any means. Take Care is probably the greatest album ever created. Get you a little
Okay.
bit of everything that you want to laugh, that he got a song for it. You want to cry, he got a song for it. You want to hoop, headlines. I could never play a day in my life, but you put headlines on, and I think I'm going to get you a double double.
You're like Drake. You think you can start hooping all of a sudden?
Right, right. Now it might be a double double in turnovers and
Yeah.
fouls, but I'll get you the double double.
Right. I like it. I like it. What about shoes? Do you have a favorite pair of shoes you'd like to wear when you either coach or when you were playing the way you played when you were getting your double doubles, fouls, and
Yeah,
turnovers?
right. Um, so I've been at majority Adidas schools, but
Okay.
I had one stop at Youngstown State when we were Nike, and that was my favorite because I did grow up a sneakerhead.
Okay.
My favorite shoes are the Air Jordan 10s, the Chicago's.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
I just think back to Scottie Pippen's highlight where he kind of kicks the shoe up and lets you
Yep.
read all the accolades. And
Yep.
those white, black, red has always been one of my favorite color combinations. So probably the tens would be what I would go with.
Nice. So we got our 5 minute warm up out the way. That was great.
Yep.
You're ready to play. I see. So
Yep.
tell people the story, your story of basketball. Like, how'd you get connected to basketball? You talked about being at Youngstown. You
Yep.
talked about having a bunch of Adidas stops. What is kind of your journey? How'd you get into this, and why do you love doing what you do?
Yeah. So grew up in Pennsylvania, Erie, Pennsylvania. Kind of played basketball my whole life because my dad played basketball and it was kind of expected of me. And we kind of reached a boiling point sometime in high school where I stopped playing because he wanted me to play and started playing because I actually enjoyed the game. And had a great experience with one of my high school coaches and really enjoyed playing for him. He really believed in me, and that sparked a fire to want to be a coach. The way he was able to make our team feel, and he believed in us more than we believed in ourselves. You know, that type of impact that he had on our lives, that encouraged me to want to coach. And so from that point forward, I went to work at it. I started at the high school level, eventually got hired as a student assistant, a manager at the Division I level. I was at a D2 school, and so it was called a student assistant there, and got great experience. I was able to recruit, I was able to coach, I was able to scout, work on player development, sweep the floor every day, do the laundry every day, and just loved it. And when I graduated from Edinburgh University, I applied for every job that Hoop Dirt posted. And it didn't matter if it was, director of ops at Iowa or a part-time $1,500 student assistant at Penn State, Greater Allegheny. I applied for them all. And through some mutual connections, Cleve Wright got the head job at Miami, Ohio, and Cleve was at Gannon, which is in Erie, PA, where I'm from. And I didn't know Cleve personally, but I knew a lot of people around him, and I just started recruiting him. I got every person I could find to call Coach Wright and say something good about me. And through it was kind of a perfect match because I have a lot of persistence when it comes to going after jobs, and Coach Wright takes a little bit to make up his mind. And so through the process of elimination, it got all the way, I think, until September. He still needed a video coordinator, and I was still after the position. And so he hung in there with me, and he gave me a great opportunity. And I spent my first 2 years on the women's side at Miami, Ohio. Um, I think that everything happens for a reason, and clearly there was a higher power directing me to go there because everything that I do, everything that I know, everything that I learned at Miami. I learned working for Cleve. I learned working with Colleen Day, who is now the associate head coach on the women's side at Akron University. I learned from Ashley Saya, who is now a high school coach back in California. I learned so much. And from there, I spent 2 years, and I always wanted to be on the men's side. Getting in, I wanted to take any opportunity I could get. And so I was lucky enough to get involved with a job with Coach Jerry Slocum at Youngstown State. And I worked with him, and Mike Wernicki was the associate head coach. I learned a ton from him, and spent 2 years there. And Coach Slocum was and is an offensive mastermind. I learned so much of the game. I've stolen so many sets from him, and he would just call a timeout and say, "Hey, we're going to run X this time down. Next time down, we're going to be in 41. The next time down, they're going to cheat that. So I want to go right into speed, and I want to slip the screen." And it would happen just like that, just as he would see it, and just learned a ton. We we did so much more with less during our time at Youngstown. I don't think we had all the glitz and the glamour there, and we still found ways to beat teams that we shouldn't have beat. And those are some of the greatest memories that I have. Were working at YSU and working with Coach Slocum and Coach Mike. And from there, I was able to, just through networking, introduce myself one summer to CB McGrath at UNC, and I had family down there. They were moving. I went down to help them move. I was down in Raleigh. I was like, you know what? I'm down here in basketball country. Let me kind of connect myself with somebody, anybody that'll talk to me. And actually, a girl that I knew at Miami, Ohio, was a student manager for 4 years at Carolina. So I called her. She was able to connect me with CB, and CB let me come over and kind of gave me a tour of the arena, sat down, gave me the time of day. It was amazing. And from that point, I just kind of would write him a handwritten letter every day. Well, not every day, every month, for about a year. And I was hoping, you know, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, that would kind of pay off. And 1 year later, he got the job at UNC Wilmington. Uh, I reached out to him at the Final Four, and he actually got back with me the next day and told me that I was on his short list, and he was interested in talking with me again. So he ended up. I was interested in his operations spot, but he offered me the video spot, and so I took it and ran with it. 1 year with him, he promoted me to the op spot, and then the following year, he was let go mid-season, and I was promoted to an assistant. UNC Wilmington is it's a sleeping giant. It's an unbelievable school in an unbelievable town with an unbelievable community. I will make that place is marked on my map of trying to get back there. And at the end of that year that I was an assistant, the administration went in a different direction, and so I didn't have a job again. And I spent about 6 months more focused on myself. And it was in that 6-month period that I came out and kind of told the world my story. And one day I was at the beach and ran into the associate AD. She's like, Matt, I had no idea you were still in town. You know, we should go get lunch, da 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 da. And she ended up organizing, bringing me back to UNC Wilmington on the women's side as an assistant. And that was a great opportunity. I got to coach some great kids that I absolutely loved. And that year went by. And at the end of that year, I kind of decided to, I was ready for a new challenge, something outside of UNCW. And challenge is a good word for it, because I landed at CHOWAN University with Coach Burke, where I'm currently at now. And we are taking it on the chin right now as a team and as a program. But we are building something special. We have a great young core that I'm really excited to go coach every day. Playing a lot of freshmen, making a lot of freshman mistakes. But there is definitely better days ahead for the CHOWAN Hawks. And I'm working with my three best friends in the world. Coach Rob Burke is our head coach. He's doing an unbelievable job keeping a losing team motivated and helping them see the forest through the trees. I'm working with my younger brother is an assistant here with us, Jeremy Lynch. And one of the greatest people in all of college basketball, Christian White, is our chief of staff. And you know, we're just trying to find a way to win a game. And that's the longest explanation of my journey I could have possibly given you.
No, that was great. That was great. You covered everything that needed to be covered. A couple of things you touched on, well, many things you touched on, but we'll dive into a few. So, Coach
Yep.
Burke, you work with at Wilmington, correct?
Yeah.
Kinda your guy.
He started as the ops guy. I was the video coordinator. I did all of the ops work. He did none of the ops work. Don't let him tell you anything different.
Amen.
Um, but we've always complemented each other well.
Yeah,
Everything that he is bad at, I'm good at. Everything that I'm bad at, he's good at. So
great.
we've made a great team. We refer to ourselves as the duo,
I love
and
it.
there's nothing that we can't accomplish together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And he's new as a head coach, first year.
Yep,
So as soon as he got the job, he called you up like, "Hey, man, get over here. We're gonna
yep,
build something. The duo is about to take over."
yeah. So Coach Burke graduated from CHOWAN.
Yep.
He's an alumni here. His dad is the all-time winningest coach here, Bob Burke.
You see, I thought his dad was a legend at that in
Yep,
that area.
and the court's named after him, and, mom's a member of the board of the trustees, and she's just a rock that holds the whole family down, Jane Burke, and, yeah, he's w like I said, we're building this thing from the ground up, and, right now we're 0-7, and, we're looking for a win. Got 2 good opportunities coming up here at home. From if you were to take a look at 0-7, you'd be like, oh man, that thing is something's wrong. And no, it's not. Something's being built. And there's
Yep.
no fast track to success here. We're laying the bricks so that in 2 years, when you come back and we hopefully can get an opportunity to do this again, I'll be 7-0 at
Right.
that time. So, uh,
Amen.
yep, absolutely.
And then so last thing, family wise, obviously coach has a legacy there. Now you have a legacy starting there with your brother. That's
Yeah,
got to be cool working with your brother as well.
yeah, it is.
We'll jump into that toward the end. So you snuck, you kind of like had so much stuff going on. That was a pretty significant part you mentioned.
Yeah.
That will go into that story from reading the article. It sounds like you were talking to the team, and it was kind of a cool way of like how many of you have um, ever been on a date, or how many
Yeah,
of you have ever had a girlfriend.
yeah,
And I think where it went from there is kind of how you came out. Go ahead and share a little bit of that if you don't mind.
yeah. So, I was actually publicly out before
Okay.
that,
Okay, I
and
didn't know that.
yeah, since April of 2020, and but within that, there's just you can be gay and like basketball. You can be straight and like ballet. There's all these stereotypes that go into it. But in my everyday, I don't know that you can ever, your sexuality isn't something that you can look at somebody and immediately identify. And having to come out is can be a taxing process at times, just because you feel like you have to explain yourself. And so Coach Burke has known, it's been no secret for over a year now. And I actually came out in the first article on Outsports came out in April of 2020, and that thing caught a lot of traction, a lot more than I would have ever thought. But it brought me to this point where, here I am, I'm coaching men's basketball as an openly gay male. I'm the first openly gay male to be ever hired, and Coach Burke's the first person to ever hire somebody who is openly gay. And so that was a big significance in the LGBTQIA plus community. And I didn't we have this development team here, and it's JV basketball is what it is. Just like, in high school basketball, you got your varsity team, your JV team. We've got our D2 team and our development team. And so I'm actually the head coach of the development team. And at the start of the school year, we had about 52 kids in the combination of both programs. And that's a lot of kids. It's a lot of players to coach. It's a lot of relationships to build with. And we were having a team meeting, and I kind of told Coach Burke, like, hey, I have no interest in having to figure out how to come out 52 times. I have no interest in trying to, work into like, hey coach, do you have a girl in your life? Do you got a baby girl in your life? Are you dating anybody? I have no interest in having to have that conversation 52 times. And so I just kind of said, coach, do you mind if, I take my 5 minutes to speak my piece to the team, and we can kind of take it from there. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, we're going to go over some policies and procedures of, how I want to run these programs, and then I'll turn it over to you. And so we're in the gym. I'm addressing 52 guys. I kind of just said, hey guys, raise your hand if you've ever been on a date. Everybody puts their hand up. I said, raise your hand if you've ever had a girlfriend. Everybody puts their hand up. Me included. I put my hand up. And then I said, raise your hand if you've ever had a boyfriend. And I put my hand up. Nobody else has their hand up. And I just kind of use that as I tried to break the ice. It doesn't need to be this, oh, he's gay, da, 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 like this big secret. I just tried to break the ice and let them know that, like, at the end of the day, you guys don't care how much I know until you know how much I care, and I have got to be my authentic self with you. And with that is you're going to see me with my boyfriend. He's going to come to the game. Who I lay my head down next to at night has nothing to do with my ability to coach basketball and my ability to make you guys better men. And I just wanted you guys to know. And I told them I wasn't looking for approval. I wasn't looking for acceptance. I have to earn that in my own way and in my own time, and I'm okay with that. I had a young man get up and attempt to come and embrace me, give me a hug, visibly show me his acceptance, and I kind of shut that down. I let him know that I appreciate that, but I'm not looking for all that lovey-dovey shit. I'm just looking to make sure that you know who I am. And, that young man I've coached him harder than anybody that I've coached within our program. And since that day, it's never come back up. It's a different time with today's day and age with these young people. They grow up watching Netflix, HBO, Hulu, whatever, and all these shows have gay characters in them, whether it's a male or female, transgender. It's not as a big of a deal as what it once was, and it's become very normal, and that's something that I'm happy to see and happy to get an opportunity to affect.
Yeah, absolutely. Salute to you, man, for just owning your true, authentic self. I think sometimes that can be challenging in this day and age. It feels like it's getting more accepted, no matter what that space may be.
Yeah,
But it's still a historic thing, just based on the numbers. First for yourself, first for coach, as far as hiring and being in.
right.
What is that like? I know we could probably talk on this topic only. We wanted people to know you more than just that, and that be the whole
Yeah.
segment. What is that? I don't want to say responsibility, but it is one. What is that space and role like for you, kind of leading a charge of kind of being the first?
Yeah.
Or do you even think about it? You may not. It may just be
No,
you just
I definitely it's probably the first thing I think of every day.
yeah.
Just because there was even just a recent article that came out on Outsports, and for whatever reason, like you get this internal drive of like, okay, I've told my story, and I have to be successful. I have to figure out a way because, like, I'm going to be judged even more now, or I'm going to be evaluated even more now. And so it kind of gives me that, it's a Coach Burke phrase, but that intestinal fortitude that you have to be able to figure this out. And, for Coach Burke to roll the dice on it and kind of be the first to go ever say, hey, I don't care who you sleep next to. I don't care who you're in love with. Like you can coach basketball, you can build relationships, you can recruit, come help me do this was huge, not only for me, but I think for anybody else as an outsider looking in. When I was 10, 15 years old, I didn't think, which I probably wasn't thinking about coaching college basketball at that time anyways, but I didn't think that anything like this would be possible, that I would be able to go to a gym every day and, be open, be be authentic and get an opportunity to coach. And so it it's a definitely a responsibility. I don't think it weighs on me in a negative way. If anything, it's something that drives the bus every day of that you do have to figure this thing out. And one of my players, Nick Powell from UNCW, he was the first to kind of like make me see it as almost as an advantage. It sets me apart from everybody else. It's everybody has their own path, and no one path is better than another. But he was one of the first players that I ever told. He was overseas at the time, and he went on about an hour rant of telling me how this is going to help push me to the next level to be even better as a coach, and what an advantage it was. And it was I was kind of taken back by that whole conversation, that he was going to tell me that my biggest secret of my entire life is actually an advantage. And so it's it's interesting.
That's a good way to put it. So we're getting close to the end. I guess I would ask this one last question. I'm sure we'll have you back. You've mentioned out sports, so kind of mention what that is, if you don't mind, before you go. And
Yeah.
then just I would just give you the opportunity to just say anything you would want to say to maybe those that either don't know, don't understand, or can't relate because they don't have someone in their circle that is in a position like yourself.
Yeah.
As far as being the first one to come out and be openly gay as a coach, whatever you would want people to know that maybe see from afar or read from afar, and they may want to prejudge or pre-think or whatever the case may be, what would you want to say to them? And then before that, kind of explain what Out Sports is, and then we'll let
Yeah.
you go.
Okay. Um, Outsports is a company that they write articles and put out pretty much stories of hope of people of the LGBTQ plus community in sports. And they have opened up doors and helped me create relationships all across college basketball that I'll never be able to repay them for. And they're out there on Facebook, they're out there on Instagram, they're out there on Twitter. And I'm going to kind of segue your first question into your second question of, visibility is important. And I'm trying to be somebody that I wish I would have had when I was younger, to see, okay, hey, yes, it's been done before, it is possible. And Outsports is putting out articles almost daily of LGBTQ plus people in sports, and not just in basketball, not just of coaches, not just players, whether it's pro athletes, college, high school. It covers everybody and anybody. And just giving them a follow, giving them a retweet, what that does is we all have our own networks. We all have our own followers on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, whatever. But by you just, resharing one of those stories, whether you know the person in the story or not, it will take that story and allow it to get to all of your followers. And you don't always know who's out there in your life, in your day-to-day life, of who's in the LGBTQ community. And one, it's going to show just an acceptance by you retweeting a story or retweeting an article. And past that, it gives everybody in your network an opportunity to see and learn a little bit more about Outsports, and then kind of take that and share it to their followings. And just through time, I think by us continuing to push, stories of hope and possibility, we can continue to help increase visibility, and that'll also help create a normalization within college basketball, within college sports, within high school sports, within sports, and just humanity in general. And so, I was I am, I think, the only current out coach in college basketball on the men's side. I know that there are multiple on the women's side. I know I'm also not the only one. And so in time, it's my hope that others can find the strength to tell their story. I think Outsports is a great avenue to go tell that story. And, I think it's important that as more and more people become comfortable, more and more people come out, more and more people tell their story, that it'll continue to just increase visibility. And, on top of that, we talked a lot about, and I know the majority of this segment was all about, my sexuality and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's only my goal to be evaluated on my ability to coach basketball, my ability to develop young men, my ability to recruit and to scout and to help create a culture and build a program. I don't want to be hired as an openly gay coach. I want to be hired because I'm a good basketball coach. And if I'm not a good basketball coach, then I don't want the job. Like I want to be evaluated on those things within, my own abilities, and not just because, oh, he's openly gay and that would create a positive PR situation. I'm not interested in that. I don't want that. Part of a great ability or a great advantage of me coming here was coach didn't hire me for that. I mean, CHOWAN didn't put out some great article about how their PR department and they hired the first. You guys didn't see any of that. I got hired here because I got a relationship with Rob Burke, and together we create and form the duo, and we're going to build this thing the right way. So that we can be 7-0 the next time we're talking, and not 0-7.
Hey man, congratulations, man, on just being able to walk in this space with your family. I think that part is dope.
Yeah.
Coach Burke, somebody you know closely, and is the duo. You got your brother with you. I think the story gets better, almost like watching Virginia lose to the 16 seed, and it's like they're on this low, and then they take this extreme high. I hope CHOWAN has that similar experience, and salute to you for your just your. I would just say just your strength and your ownership of who you are, and not wanting to hide it, and not want to just be who you are. I think it's amazing when you can do that with whatever space you're in. So salute to you for opening doors and paving the way for people that will follow. And I love the fact that you are so open to want to continue to help the conversation, to help whoever else out there may feel like they have to stay and hide, that they can come out and be free and be themselves and their truest best self too. So salute to you, Matt. You're a friend of Rising Coaches DEI Lines. We look forward to having you back next year when you guys are balling out of control and building that thing the way you want it to be built. So tell Coach Burke we said hello, and thanks so much for joining today, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate everything that Rising Coaches does for everybody that's trying to learn and grow and become a better coach. I mean, it's Outsports is a big time organization for people in the LGBTQ community, but Rising Coaches is an unbelievable organization for anybody that's trying to be a better basketball coach, be a better coach, period. So I appreciate you guys.
I agree. Thanks, man. Have a good one. And enjoy Christmas. Even though Thanksgiving is your favorite, you're going to still have some good food.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. I appreciate you.